Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
ABC News International. August 5, 17. 35 America, New York. Puerto Rico widens vaccine requirements amid COVID-19 spike. Puerto Rico's governor announced Thursday that vaccinations will be required of government contractors, hotel guests and employees and all health facility workers to control a spike in COVID-19 cases blamed largely on the Delta variant.
BBC News World. August 5, 17. 21 America, New York. U.S. urges Iran's new President Ebrahim Raisi to resume nuclear talks. The State Department says Ebrahim Raisi should seize the opportunity to revive a landmark 2015 deal.
RT World News. August 5, 17. 17 America, New York. Qatar Airways grounds 13 Airbus A350 aircraft over accelerated degradation of fuselage surface. Qatar's flagship carrier has grounded 13 of its Airbus A350 aircraft over an accelerated rate of degradation of fuselage panels on the planes. To avoid shortages, the airline is bringing older A330 planes back into service. RT World News. August 5, 17. 16 America, New York. South Africa reshuffles government in response to riots. Health and finance ministers out. Security placed under presidency. President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced major changes to the government of South Africa in response to last month's unrest, abolishing the Ministry of State Security and accepting the resignation of health and finance ministers.
BBC News World. August 5, 16. 59 America, New York. U.S. to allow visitors from Hong Kong to stay for 18 months. Thousands can stay in U.S. for 18 months because China is eroding territories' freedoms, the U.S. president says.
Fox World News. August 5, 16. 31 America, New York. Benny Gantz says Israel ready to strike Iran as tensions run high. Don't test us. Israel Defense Minister Benny Gantz has warned Iran his country's military is poised to take action should tensions continue to escalate between the two nations. ABC News International. August 5, 16. 30 America, New York. Poverty increases in Mexico amid COVID-19 pandemic. Mexico's Poverty Measurement Agency says an additional 3.8 million Mexicans had fallen into poverty in 2020 compared to 2018, largely because of the coronavirus pandemic.
New York Times World News. August 5, 16. 27 America, New York. 9-year-old's death in Delhi renews protests against sexual violence. Her family accuses 4 men of raping her, then killing her and quickly cremating the body to hide evidence. Demonstrators in the capital say it still happens all too often. The death of a 9-year-old girl set off new protests against sexual violence in Delhi on Thursday.
ABC News International. August 5, 16. 19 America, New York. Canadian justice lawyer. U.S. didn't mislead in Huawei arrest. A Canadian government lawyer says there is no evidence to support defense allegations the U.S. acted in bad faith or omitted evidence in trying to mislead an extradition hearing for a top executive at Chinese communications giant Huawei Technologies. ABC News International. August 5, 16. 18 America, New York. At river where Tigrayan bodies floated, fears of many more. From time to time, a body floating down the river separating Ethiopia's troubled Tigray region from Sudan was a silent reminder of a war conducted in the shadows.
New York Times World News. August 5, 16. 12 America, New York. Afghan War Casualty Report. August 2021. At least 115 Afghan security forces and 58 civilians were killed in Afghanistan in the first 5 days of August. Afghan security personnel assessing the damage in Kabul on August.
World CBS News, com. August 5, 16. 09 America, New York. Lionel Messi won't return to FC Barcelona, leaves club after 17 seasons. The club said a new contract cannot be signed because of financial and structural obstacles.
New York Times World News. August 5, 16. 04 America, New York. Your Friday briefing. Iran's new hardline president is sworn in. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, surrounded by guests after being sworn in for his first 4-year term of presidency at the parliament in Tehran, Iran, 5 August 2021.
Time, August 5, 15. 45 America, New York. American agriculture almost ruined my little English farm. Now I'm trying to save it. For much of my early life, America meant progress, the bright shining farming future. I was a kid on an old-fashioned farm in the north of England, and we were way off the pace of change.
Fox World News. August 5, 15. 34 America, New York. Tanker hijacking in Oman thwarted when crew shut down engines. Report. According to a report, a group of about 6 Iranians stormed the Princess Asphalt in the Gulf of Oman, off the coast of the United Arab Emirates.
Wall Street Journal World News. August 5, 15. 28 America, New York. U.S. investor Michael Calvé found guilty of embezzlement in Russia. The verdict against the American private equity chief came more than 2 years after his arrest in a case that shook the foreign business community and exacerbated U.S.-Russia tensions.
RT World News. August 5, 15. 28 America, New York. Mass protests kick off in Paris after France's Constitutional Court approves controversial COVID legislation. Videos. Reinvigorated mass protests kicked off in the French capital shortly after the country's top court upheld controversial legislation which makes a coronavirus health pass mandatory for the general public.
World CBS News, com. August 5, 15. 25 America, New York. How to watch Team USA men's basketball compete for gold medal. Led by Kevin Durant, Team USA will face France for the gold medal on Friday. World CBS News, com. August 5, 15. 08 America, New York. USA's Nevin Harrison wins gold in historic women's 200-meter canoe sprint. The 19-year-old takes home the U.S. first canoe or kayak sprint medal since 1992.
ABC News International. August 5, 15. 02 America, New York. Jihadi rebels kill 30 in North Burkina Faso, says official. At least 30 people, including members of the military, were killed by jihadi rebels in northern Burkina Faso.
BBC News World. August 5, 14. 52 America, New York. Tucker Carlson. What the Fox News host is doing in Hungary. The controversial news host is the latest high-profile ally of Hungary's embattled prime minister. Mirror World News. August 5, 14. 46 America, New York. China secretly backing brutal Taliban in exchange for help oppressing Uyghurs. The Mirror can reveal Western sources believe China have gifted the Taliban money to buy weapons in exchange for shunning neighboring Uyghur Muslim insurgent groups.